All right, guys, what's up? We are back. We are previewing race number 32 of the 2024 season with Kubota High Limit Racing. It's going to be taking place at the King Speedway on Friday, August 16th. So a few days away from now, we're going to be back racing again with High Limit at a pretty racy joint down there in Hanford, California. It is a 3/8 mile bull ring, and it's called the Peter Murphy Classic, a race that has been going on for a handful of years now. And it's a relatively prestigious race to win. Peter Murphy, a great guy that does a whole lot of good stuff for racing, not only in Central California, but is also involved at the Skagit Speedway in Washington as well. So great to have a name for this racing. For it to be the Peter Murphy Classic is definitely special for high limit racing. So it's going to be a great night of racing. The one thing I am a little bit worried about here before we really dive into the rest of this preview is this is actually the very first 410 sprint car race they've had there all season long at Hanford. So we saw that happen. I can't remember what race it was earlier this year. It was at Kokomo, actually. We were at Kokomo, and it was the first 410 race they had there all year. And unfortunately, that one did take rubber towards the end. Now, we're hoping that they've got it figured out down there in Hanford. I've seen some incredible races there. The Outlaw race last year between Corey Day and Brad Sweet was absolutely fantastic. And so hopefully we can get something similar as far as the track prep goes to that race last year. But I did want to mention that this is the first Wing 410 race they've had all season long in 2024 at King Speedway. Now, the weather going in, it is going to be a hot one, a high of 99 degrees on Friday, a low of 65 degrees, and just for good measure, have that 1% chance of rain on the board. Sunny and clear skies, and a little bit windy there, 10 to 15 mile per hour winds when we show up there on Friday afternoon. $20,000 to the winner of the Peter Murphy Classic and $1,500 to take the green flag. An estimated car count of 40-ish. I don't anticipate us, losing many cars from Tulare to Hanford. It is really a short drive between those two racetracks. So long as nobody, flips and destroys a race car, I really don't see anybody not showing up from, that's going to Tulare that's not going to be at Hanford. Okay, now let's get into our most recent 410 winners. Last year, they ran a lot of 410 races at the Hanford, Hanford, California racetrack of King Speedway. DJ Netto, he is the most recent winner. That was with the NARC 410 series last year. Justin Sanders also got a win with NARC in 2023. Brad Sweet, as I mentioned just a moment ago, got that win with the Outlaws against Corey Day in 2023. That was a really, really good race. Dominic Scelzi, he got a win in 23 as well with NARC, and then Corey Day got a win when he was a full-time driver with that series last year as well. So 5 races with the 410s last year, but not a single one in 2024. So that's definitely a little interesting, little tidbit information for you guys to chew on there. We're going to talk about the track record now, which was established on February 23rd of 2001. The time is a 12.239 seconds. It was set by Joey Saldana. So the lap time has been around for 23 years, and that does not give me much hope that we are going to get anywhere near that to try and break the track record. The Brownsburg Bullet might be holding on to that one for the rest of his life. That is a time that has been around for a really, really long time. So I'm not expecting to break that, but just want to let you guys know what the track record is here, as we always do in these previews. Now, right over here, you see we have our high roller playlist driver, and it's going to be Corey Eliason. So as you've noticed, if you watched the Tulare preview, we had Kyle Larson on there. Obviously, Kyle Larson is from California. Tulare is one of his favorite racetracks. Might as well have him as the playlist guy there. And then Corey Eliason. This is basically a homecoming for him. He's from Visalia, not too far away at all from the King Speedway. And I wanted to dive a little bit into Corey Eliason at this racetrack, because this could be a potential place where Corey Eliason can win, can compete for a podium finish, which would be his first of the year with the series. He does have 2 career NARC King of the West wins at this racetrack. He did finish 7th in 2014 with the World of Outlaws. As I mentioned, this is his home track. His last 3 King of the West starts at this place have resulted in 3 podium finishes for him. So Corey Eliason, very, very good at King Speedway, and it's definitely been a tough season for him, obviously. He's outside the top 10 in points, has had some issues here and there throughout the season, but it does look like things may be turning around here for him. His last couple of starts have resulted in decent finishes. So the last race for High Limit was at Lernerville. He got a 5th place result there. Before that, we ran at the Portsmouth Raceway Park in Ohio. He got a 5th place finish there. And then after that, he ran at the Baps Motor Speedway in Pennsylvania with the World of Outlaws, and he finished 5th there. So a little bit of momentum maybe starting to turn the tides for Corey Eliason, and now he's heading back home where he has so much experience and so many laps. I think that this could prove to be a good stretch of races for Corey Eliason. That team has not really been west ever, as far as I know. And Jim Shuttlesworth, the crew chief of the car, I'm not sure as far as his expertise goes on the West Coast, but he's a very good crew chief, and I think the combination of him and having Corey Eliason there, who used to basically be his own crew chief back in the day in the 2014 Outlaw Show, Corey's going to be able to mesh well with Jim as they already have all year long, and maybe they can put something together for some good races on the West Coast for High Limit Racing. So keep an eye on Corey Eliason. Wanted to mention that here in this race preview. And then we got a couple of drivers making their debut that are full-time with High Limit that have never been to the King Speedway. Brenham Crouch is one of them in that number 1 car. The 26 of Zeb Wise and the 88 of Tanner Thorson, which I had to text him before I made this video. I was very shocked to see that Tanner Thorson had never raced at Hanford before. There for a long time, he was a California sprint car guy, and that was what he mainly did. And amazingly, he never raced at King Speedway. So those 3 drivers right there, full-time high rollers, making their debut at Hanford on Friday night. Now, let's look at some of the drivers that we know will be there that are not full-time drivers with the series. So some of our California local drivers, Caden Steele in the number 121 for Tarleton Racing, Tanner Carrick in the 83T. We also have Joey Ancona in his family-owned number 88A car. Nick Parker out of Arizona, the number 115. I've got a question mark next to DJ Neto. Hanford, the track there is like, I don't know, maybe not even 5 miles away from where he lives at and where his whole farm and his whole place is at right there. I've got a question mark next to DJ Neto. I did send him a text message, have not received a text back yet, but he did win the latest race there. He lives in town. I have to imagine that DJ Neto is going to show up in the 88N car. Tanner Holmes in the 18T, Landon Brooks in the 45, Shane Golobic in the 17W. We've also got Dominic Selzy in the 41, Caleb Henry in the 17, Jamie Veal, as we mentioned in the Tulare preview, driving the Monty Motorsports 17AU, Justin Cox in the 42X, Cole Macedo and Justin Sanders. So these 3 guys at the very bottom, those are the top 3 in NARC point standings, and it's pretty close. It's 3 between Macedo and Sanders, and then really maybe less than 100, I believe, between those 2 and Justin Cox. So those 3 will be fun to watch. I know they're not racing for points throughout these high limit races, but it's definitely going to be interesting to see which one of them maybe has the better average finish after all of the high limit races are completed. Because as far as we know, they will be doing all 11 races with the series all the way up to Skagit. So looking forward to it. King Speedway, I've been there a couple of times, and with the Outlaws, I've been there when I was an announcer for the USAC Sprint Car Series, and it seems to always put on great racing. Very, very wide track. No walls on either end of it, so you do get some interesting moments with drivers kind of flying off the edge of the racetrack and things like that. So looking forward to getting over there and getting things kind of in the groove again. It's been a long time since High Limit was in action, and it's about to really ramp up with how many races we're going to be running. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this race or this season preview, or this not season preview, but this race preview for race number 32 with High Limit. Make sure to comment down below. Are you guys going to be there? I want to hear your win picks for this race. Also, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button as well. If you're watching at home on Flow Racing, we appreciate your guys' support so very much, and we'll talk to you again here very soon.